All right, we're doing this earlier than I had intended because I figure when you have the opportunity to do something like this, you might as well do it. Ah, oh, there we go. Ah. So we'll see how long this goes. I'm gonna try an hour, but stuff happens and things get interrupted and all that wonderful stuff. I have to say I was really disappointed because I wasn't able to finish the Giuliani documentary this week. But one of the reasons for that was because yesterday and Thursday were kind of chaotic in the sense that, as I mentioned before, with the other two streams I did this week that weren't on Monday or Sunday, which is the usual streaming schedule, you have a lot of people just coming in and out and moving stuff all over the place. Um, and I've basically been just trying to still consistently do things in spite of that. And it's worked to some extent because, like I said, I started recording, two or what was it, like 3, 4 videos to put up throughout the week in one day so that I can just put them on YouTube as opposed to having to find somewhere to stream or whatever. So it's been a really not disappointing week, but just just want to get back to how things were, the normal setup. Oh my god. So I'll probably end up working on the Giuliani thing tonight, and then I'll probably pick up one of the other subjects that Ruben recommended after that, and then we can all ride into the sunset, all happy together and whatnot. So we got Des Moines Register endorses Warren, blah 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 blah. I have given consideration to. We don't want the fake. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I got a little confused. There's a an article on the Hill, and it's called "Moore Defends Sanders' Reputation," and I thought they were talking about Moore from Alabama, so the Senate candidate, him coming and defending Bernie. I was like, what kind of bizarre world is this? That's actually a running theme where these the Hill will put up a person's last name, and then I'll think it's one person and somebody else. Like they would say. Sanders said, and then I look thinking it's Bernie, and then it's Sarah Huckabee. And it's funny because a lot of times all they have to do is just put the person's first name with the last name, but apparently that's too difficult or something. Mm, it's a little too complex. That's so complicated. Yeah, we're getting our lovely stream people where they show up and then they jump out. They come for a little cameo, like hi, bye. I'm picturing in real life if someone were to do that, where they go in a restaurant through the revolving door and they stop for maybe 3 or 4 seconds and go out. That's what I always get reminded of whenever that happens. Just someone sitting there and being, I guess, completely disillusioned with just because remember they come in very briefly and then jump out. So they hear like a little snippet of what's being discussed and then they run away. Because they don't click it by accident. They do that on purpose, where they come to. They're so curious, they just click on you, and then after that, you get nothing. Okay. Uh, Someone is asking me for this contact information. I'm gonna write this to them. So for people who watch this when it's not live, that's why I'll be kind of silent for a moment or two. And also the fact that we keep having that one person come in and come out. That's a nice little running gag. They just did it again right now. They're like, "Oh, that's me. I got to fulfill my cue." I'm telling you, I just always think about ever since this person wrote that the guy that was like, progressives don't watch each other because of the YouTube algorithm, and It wasn't like that a couple years ago. I was like, sir, I've been on here for a couple of years, and it has literally been just like a yo-yo. I think I actually did have 1 week where I was doing really good. Like I think every video got over 60 views. Like, oh my God, I'm rising. And then the week after that, it's like 20 and 30. And then the week after that, it's maybe 30 and 40. And like, oh my God, I'm getting more people, I'm getting more people. And then it just keeps going down. A little increase at one point, back down. And it's crazy too, because you can even stick celebrity names in there and you still don't get anyone to check it out. That's why I said the website is it's just a really unstable place. There's actually, I thought about doing this. There's a guy who reviews, I think it was cards or something. I'll read your comment in a moment, Ruben. But there's a guy that reviews cards, and he made a video about 3 weeks ago. And he was like, "This is my last video. I am not sustaining the revenue that is needed to continue," or something like that. And he was uploading every once a week or whatever. And this video had about, when I saw it in my recommended, 400,000 views, big number. But you look at all his other stuff, 2,000, 1,000. And I'm not trying to insult his stuff by any means, but there are people in the comment section who are saying, why is this the first time I'm hearing of this person? Damn it, YouTube. And that's literally what I felt like saying. But because I had never heard of this individual before uh, getting that in my recommended. So the site really does have a stranglehold on who gets picked or not. But the thing with that person trying to pretend that just started is completely ludicrous. Okay, Ruben said Trump announced on Twitter a few days ago that the Democrats were going to cheat Bernie in the primary. I mean, they probably are. That's why they have all these candidates running, so they can split the delegate count to where he can't get on the first ballot, and then they'll go to a second one, and then they can nominate whatever non-Sanders person there that is in second place, or closest to a winning number that they like the most. Let me see here. Number 0383. Yeah, Ruben, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see about getting the Giuliani thing done tonight. It's just been a really aggravating couple of days, as I've mentioned in the previous stream I did. So it's just one thing after another. Thank God that chapter of Super was as good as it was. That was probably the best thing that happened in the last week. That one chapter. That was the point. A lot of alleged pro Bernie pundits said that it was great that DNC shoved so many candidates because it would split the establishment vote. Yeah, I mean, this is why people got pissed off at Tulsi and Warren. They're like, you guys are supposed to be progressives, but then you're going to split our vote, and you're going to hope that there's more non-progressive people running so they can do the same thing to each other. And it's made even more amusing in hindsight when you consider the fact that it's basically been the same couple of people in front or at the highest margin since the race started. Because remember, Biden entered as a front runner. He was polling really high before he even got in. So that whole talk of, oh yeah, it's going to be Gillibrand at 2 and Biden at 2. That no, they really tricked themselves with that one. But like I said, people when they talk about things political in a lot of instances, they don't actually consider uh, what they believe backfiring on them. Like when I was talking about running for the House against my horrible representative, I actively thought about, oh, what if they turn it into a discussion about, the woman stuff I put on here. I was like, you know what? I know how to defend myself against that. But the point is, I still sat back and thought of what's the best case scenario here. What exactly are they going to do that I might not see coming that might take me by surprise? Yeah, those quote unquote progressives are really they're self defeating. Edit this. Turn that off. And there we go. Now it's perfect. Oh my God, Envoy showed up. I'm so happy. Hey, true to his word, Ruben hasn't sent any more Neera Tanden videos, which is perfect. But I did get a message from Envoy. Let me see what it was. Let's see. How are you and Ruben doing? Well, if you saw my previous stream, you already know the mindset I have. Oh, speaking of horrible things that have occurred, so um, when these people were painting, they took the refrigerator and unplugged it. So all of these frozen meals, obviously that cost varying prices, were completely. I mean, I put one of them in the microwave. I took 2 bites out of it, and I wanted to vomit. One waste of money directs another. And I wasn't too upset because the stuff I get, which is I get about maybe 5 or 6 of those per week, and they're all about maybe $4 or $5. It's not, they're not that. It's just kind of annoying. You have stuff that you have saved over from the previous week. That means you don't have to get as much stuff the next week theoretically. And then Gillibrand's dad is implicated. Oh, I remember that. Oh, Ruben, that's going to be the next Trump ally person that gets a documentary after Giuliani. Stone will probably only be one part though, even though he every time and it's just a thing with me. If I hear that someone's been involved with politics for 40 or 50 years, you would think that would be 2 or 3 hours worth of stuff to discuss, but it doesn't look like it. I guess not. Oh, see if this person received this thing. Wait, did I send it? Oh, I hope I did. I'm gonna feel so ignorant if I accidentally type that in and then nothing. Uh, It'll be easier to chat. Let me see. Sent notes. Oh, okay. They haven't seen it yet. That's because I was thinking I typed that thing off so quickly that I just didn't even bother. Giuliani was on Fox recently, I believe. I didn't watch the vid though. Well, why didn't you? Did he look like Neera Tanden to you? Saw him on Fox. Except you didn't. You just looked at the thumbnail and smiled and said, I guess I'm not going to be clicking that video today. I did see that one post by Envoy where he was celebrating Susan Sarandon, and I just, it made me sick to my stomach. That woman cost us the election, referring to the Democrats, not the actual candidate, some random celebrity. They changed the world. Stone and Trump go way back since at least the 1990s, but earlier than that, he got Trump to join the Reform Party, but then left because guys like David Duke and Pat Buchanan were in there too. You would think there would be more stuff on Buchanan, but it's sort of weird. The only times I've seen anything with him is when he calls on Fox in the last maybe 8 or 9 years. Everything else is just Nothing. He's another person where there's a lot of stuff that could be said, but he doesn't get covered at all, really. Well, they're having a stream right now. According to Trump himself. You don't believe him? Do you think he's lying? Do you think he's not telling the truth? Oh no. I might have to mute myself to clarify something. Just a heads up. Oh, it's like a horror movie. I hate that dead time in streams where you don't just stare at the camera and all that weird stuff. Let's see. I'm getting slightly nostalgic. I only stood for what, 2 or 3 weeks. No, heathen, I'm not part of any collective group. My team is me. I told you there was this one guy from about maybe 5 or 6 months ago who kept asking, "Are you part of?" I'm not. It's not that group. It's the other one. And like I just didn't say anything. He just kept asking, "Are you part of this group? Are you part of this group?" It's like no. And I already explained my opposition to. I mean, I get the message, but I'm not. I'm not joining anyone's team other than my own. Best 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, that was the highlight, the golden era. What are they doing? Sorry, these people are acting weird. Well, I don't know about the second one, but I don't understand why if I'm gonna leave chicks alone, I have to pledge allegiance to a bunch of dudes. It's like we're finished with them. All right, well, we don't have to announce it. We can just like when I did the wide on approach thing, it was just me talking about why I was, kind of like my position on it versus you know, I am now done with them forever. And when you go online and they talk about their bad experiences with them, I don't really have a problem with it at all. But again, the issue is because it's a group, and whenever one of them does something great, and it's not, I'm not the media, so I still know that it's a very itty bitty group that does, violent acts and whatnot. But if one of them does something, everybody else gets lumped in, and I'd rather not have any involvement with that. I got enough headaches of my own. I don't need to bear the burden for someone else being stupid. Buchanan said that what the U.S. government did to Native Americans was genocide. Isn't that correct? Who would it be? Me. My team is me. This is my group right here. You're seeing all of them, all the members. Do you want our autographs? Hey, Ruben, what did they say about AOC on Fox? A broken clock is right twice. Uh-oh. Do I think Trump will win? It depends who he runs against. If he runs against Sanders, he's gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna have to smear him like crazy.
Get some gas.
All right,
Okay?
all right,
I'll be back.
all right. But I said if he runs against Sanders, they're gonna have a big, huge. Who is? I've never seen Andrew before. Some new character. Well, I already said the only three that are still running I'd vote for: Sanders, Gabbard, and Yang. Everybody else, you can throw them in the trash. Yeah, I don't know who that person is that you mentioned. I wish this is the second. This is the second stream this week where somebody asked, "What do you think of this person?" I said, "I don't know who that is," and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "I don't know who it is," and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that individual." Well, I mean, the thing with his supporters is that they like you can go on any video about him that's been posted on here. They do this thing where they're like, next month he's gonna take the lead, and then that month passes. This month he's gonna take the lead, and then that month passes. And like now they're basically telling us that there's gonna be some magic, uh, huge upset. Which I do think some of the polling is incorrect, but someone who's at 2% isn't suddenly gonna win over someone at 20 or 30. I don't know what you're really about. Well, I mean, you could always go through the directory of my stuff that has been posted. None of these have any self awareness. Um, I mean, what is so aggravating is I've seen some of his supporters try to compare the situation with him to Sanders. But these are two different races because they would say, "Oh, this is he's getting people that supported Sanders in the previous cycle." I said, "Yeah, but that was a one-on-one race after the first primary, whereas now you have still a dozen people running for the Democratic nomination. It's too different, and they don't want to accept that because that busts their bubble. They've been doing the same thing with Trump. They're like, oh yeah, Yang is going to get told he can't win just like Trump's like, yeah, but Trump literally spent an entire year at the top of the polling in pretty much every state for the Republican primary. Yang is also getting former Trump people by that logic. Well, they did do a poll where it was him, Gabbard, and Sanders that got the most Trump people. And now Envoy's calling me a piece of trash. I'm gonna do that self-loathing thing that they want the romance, the what do you call it, to rejected men to do or whatever. Yeah, Envoy's telling the truth. I'm so bad. What is Envoy exposed me as garbage. Oh, I just realized. Let me play that thing. Where's that? Let me pull it up. So this is my. Yeah, I feel so bad. Envoy it completely exposed me. But this is my reaction to when people say, if you want to get with a woman, you have to work on yourself.
Suck a dick, go fuck yourself, fuck your mama, fuck your daddy, fuck your whole generation, go jump off a bridge, go buy you a ticket, fly to Japan, and lick that old bitch's pussy. If it means that much to you, faggot, shut the fuck up. No
it's the funniest thing in the world because I still have people who will leave comments on like old romance stuff. And they're like, "This is my advice." Like, no, thank you. Yeah, but that's because that's literally the first time I've streamed since the last time you've heard that where I was alone. Other than when I was at the motel where that was on my computer, and like I said, that thing was the Wi-Fi there was terrible. It was pretty bad. What is this person doing? Sorry, I sent someone some information and they said, when is the last time? I don't know how that's relevant, but um, let's see, it was before the California primary, so 3 years ago. It's like no, yeah, like almost 4 years ago, basically. And I was with the biggest gold digger in U.S. history. So now that that question has been solved, I should have said that riddle or puzzle was answered. I mean, like I said, Heathen, because I can drive to Vegas, I can end that streak if I want to, but I just don't care. Oh, I've already explained that enough. Yeah, we're done. We're done talking about that clown. She only gets brought up for an example of what to avoid. I just think it's funny. You talk to someone for like what was it, a month or two, and then you quote unquote get into a relationship with them, and then every time you see them or speak to them, can I have some money? Can I have some money? Can I have some money? I don't show anybody's picture other than my own. I already said that's part of the privacy policy. I don't say these people's names, no pictures, none of that. I wonder what the most expensive hooker is in Vegas. Not worth it. That's what the most expensive hooker in Vegas is. That's that's my answer to Envoy's inquiry. The most expensive hooker in Vegas is not worth it. I mean, if you break, and this is just true about any person, male or female, they have a face and then some sex organs that literally billions of other people have. That's it. Now people can make themselves very unique if they have some kind of skill, which that could be intelligence or you find them amusing. But all this little physical stuff, it's really not that special or something to. I mean, if some person comes up and speaks and interacts like a regular human being, that's one thing. But the idea that I'm going to sit here and go, "This is the most beautiful woman ever. I must spend thousands of dollars on her. I must fly to this state to go see her." Screw that. Yeah, none of these chicks are remotely worth me traveling thousands of miles for. To be honest, if I was a millionaire and I wanted to smash abroad, money wouldn't really matter. Um, well, I mean, the thing is that my point was more centered around the idea that you shouldn't have to do that if any of these people are really worth the. I mean, I've said before there are a couple of exceptions because you see people get in relationships and whatnot, and they occasionally last. But the idea that you have to go and spend thousands on a bodily function or something that billions of people have just doesn't make much sense to me. I won't even spend thousands on food, and you want me to spend thousands on the one night of leisure with some clown? Are you kidding me? I remember that one chick that was on Backpage, and she was offering blowjobs for $50, and I was laughing. Like when I was off the phone, I was laughing because the average apartment cost in California is 18,000. So if she wants to maintain an apartment, that's 36 dicks. She has to go like that. Oh my god! One night of pleasure, yeah. This one guy was like, "Well, she could always have a day job." I was like, "Yeah, but the point is the amount of people that she has to do." Because whatever, they tried to like burst the bubble or offer an alternative, but the point I was making was that it seems like what you get for selling yourself is chump change compared to what you have to spend to even be able to, you know, live decently here. I mean, yeah, because a lot of people are willing to pay for that, and it's I mean, when you consider that there's more chicks than dudes in the U.S., and you got all these dudes who can't get with anyone, myself included, it's a really crazy scenario. Like I said, people will just support and like anything. Some of the chicks I've seen get with men, I actually think are not attractive at all. Because I usually say, okay, this person is at least physically, whatever, but no redeeming qualities. They're like a super villain. Envoy. It's such a sad state of affairs. You have to repeat it twice. Where'd Ruben go? He hasn't left a comment since Bezos versus Ben Salman. You know what it is? He got mad that I didn't do the Giuliani documentary. This is his protest. So you won't see him for a few days now. It really sucks. I told him I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. No, you decide to post it twice because you wanted to emphasize it. Now, it's fine, but we don't need any spam in here. Also, Envoy, if you send me another video of Anna Navarro, I'm banning you. I don't want to hear that heifer's voice ever. Talk about, ooh, look, you and her have the same birthday. I don't care. So you can add her to the ban list. Her and Tandon. And I already know you and Ruben were conspiring to do a switcheroo where you were going to send me Neera Tandon stuff and he was going to send me Anna Navarro stuff. I caught you. So you've been incriminated. You've been warned. These are your final hours as a mod. No, he's not. I said before, I have my parts recorded. I just need to get the clips, which I have on a Google Doc, stick them in the editor, and then record my voiceovers, and then grab some pictures, and that'll be it. So it's basically just the editing. Now, what he might end up waiting a long time for is the Corbyn one, because I actually want to see who succeeds Corbyn as the leader of the Labour Party in Britain. And I could I don't know when that's going to take place, in a couple of months, I believe. I don't have a favorite game of all time. There's so many games, and I like them for different reasons. I'd say the game series I played the most consistently was Pokemon, and I kind of just stopped playing games altogether about 2 years ago. At least stuff on consoles, anyway. I still, sometimes we'll get a ROM or whatever. But as far as just because like they're overpriced in my opinion. A lot of times they don't really offer that much without you having to go buy, live or whatever the company's version of of online is. Like I always remember having an Xbox 360 and just thinking to myself, they want me to buy this game for $60. Then they want me to buy a monthly thing for Xbox Live so I can play the other half of the game. Well, I might be able to resume that if this is unstable because I have a new keyboard I can use. Because I was saying before that was one of the reasons I was reluctant to continue doing it. So you might be able to see that return. Now we're about to be at 6 o'clock in a few minutes. These people don't show up and be really pissed off. It's like it makes sense you didn't show up early, but where did you go? Oh, here it is. People have some crazy names on these websites. Jesus. I didn't want to repeat that name. It was really weird. Hopefully, we can get more people in that stream besides me and Ruben. I mean, it was you, Ruben, and Heathen, and then Be Still had all kind of whatever the different name he wants to call himself this week. And then it just kept dropping, and I was like, "What the hell is going on? Where are they going?" Favorite movie of all time? Man, these questions. It's an interview. We're gonna find out Heathen works for CNN or something. I'm gonna see my picture in a in the article tomorrow, and they're gonna be so screwed up because they're gonna not even call me by my name. They're gonna be like, um, "Man who became famous off of not getting a woman revealed," or some candid interview or whatever. That's gonna be the whole headline. Just oh my god. All right, fine. You work for MSNBC. What an upgrade. Seriously, every time Near Tandon's on there, I turn the channel. When they show that little, I flip. I don't even like seeing them, but the only person on there that is as bad as her is that clown that was mentioned earlier that we needs to stop sending me clips of. The women that you finally end up with is going to get years of pent up sexual frustration. Well, I mean, what do you mean by that? You think I'm gonna throw them on the couch and be like, "Ugh." Oh man. There is no terrestrial news site I would ever work with. Oh well. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm very sorry you would never work for them. Maybe if they offer you a Scooby snack, you'll change your mind. Some other trinket. Gonna throw her on the couch and have your way with her. I mean, you should have seen my comment section before for the beast for the not the be still for the wild and approach video because I actually did have someone who said I was gonna rape somebody. It's like Why would you say that? That's so dangerous. You just people get weird on here. They start typing all kind of crazy stuff. I already said I just leave people alone. Like with this chick stuff, I just got so tired of getting burned over and over again. I just was like, all right, I'm done. Like when we met the broad who agreed to get married, and then a couple days later was like, thanks but no thanks. I was at the end of my yeah, envoy. That's what that person wrote. But I was at the end of my rope. I mean, envoy. They don't care. That's why I said people online type like the reason I laugh at a lot of this stuff is because it's so insane and weird and just out of nowhere that you all you can really do is laugh at. Once to do report them and call the police and have them track the person. No, they're not even worth that. Just let them write the little dumb stuff, laugh at it. I had a dude about I think it was yesterday write a racial slur on one of the videos, and I just ignored it. Didn't respond. Didn't go. Oh my god, he called me something that would because heard it all before. And again, when you're online, you got that keyboard in front of you. I so strong. So just let them do what they want. That's kind of the thing about I've been on the internet. Yeah, they call me that envoy. But people call each other all the time. Now I don't use it, and I've been very clear about the fact I don't use it. But um, I'm so used to it, it just doesn't phase me anymore. Especially if it's by another ethnicity, a person presumably of another ethnicity, because they've appropriated it into their speak as well. Um, what was I going to say? But in someone that's been on YouTube since 2008, I'm just like this stuff isn't new to me anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't occasionally see something that makes me go, "Wow, really?" But you know, you just have to accept that this is the kind of climate we're in, where anybody was it like 80% of the U.S. has access to the internet, so you know anyone can get on here and say anything, and that's those are the kinds of comments that come out of the fact that there is no test for what people can't for the kinds of people that can get on here. What did you think about Pokemon Sword and Shield? I haven't played it yet. I might never play it because I just like I don't want to buy a new console for one game. Um, which I did one time before, and I did love the game, but admittedly, I did get other stuff for it later on. You get the point. I just didn't want to do it for one. When I see that word in the internet by like white people, I look feel like I'm with you. It's not new to us. Yeah, but it's not just that it's by people who are white or whatever. It's the fact that you have in real life. So when I was in eighth, ninth, 10th, all these different grades, right? I went to school with a couple of Caucasians, some Hispanics, and they used the word just as much as the black students did. So I didn't really, I got desensitized to it. It's like every day waking up and hearing about shootings. Yeah, the first 2 or 3 days are tragic, but that's about it. Mm. Yeah, heathen. I gotta say, I really try to stay away from talking specifically about um, things relating to my ethnicity because if you say anything that seems to be critical of them, you get called all kind of little dumb terms, and it's really about having a hive mind. Um, but this is the only ethnic group I've ever seen where they call each other racial slurs, and I've tried to explain before. If you want to listen to music that says it, if you want to watch shows, no one's stopping you, but You don't have to repeat it. I used to listen to music, a lot of rap when I was younger, and I just would never repeat the N word. You can turn it off if you want to. We're talking about grown adults who have allowed themselves to be influenced by other adults. You know, the whole follower mentality. Honestly, we hear it so many times, it doesn't phase us unless it's like at the workplace or something. Even there, I've heard it. This stuff isn't. It's just it's such a common part of of just speaking now that I don't really think much about it. Uh, and there goes Envoy spamming this comment. It's like, I'm gonna hammer it home. I'm gonna make sure you remember what I said. We'll have you read it twice. Still nothing on there. I still haven't answered. Favorite movie is like favorite song. I don't have one. You gotta understand that there's so many films and so many. I have favorite songs, but it's to narrow it down to one is really difficult. It's like if you ask me who's my favorite fictional character, because there's so many of them. Let me see here. Yeah, sticks and stones break my bones, but these racial slurs sure don't hurt me. Uh, no. So I don't dislike it. I've just never heard it. Okay. Um, oh man, we're at a finally somebody else showed up. I feel so overjoyed. Like I'm about to do a little tap dance. This is perfect. It's like I'm in heaven. And someone finally hit the like button. And I didn't think after streaming for what was it, almost 50 minutes, someone finally clicked the button. My dream has been completed. Hallelujah. Why the hell are my comments spamming? I haven't seen Biosin in so long. I almost forgot how he wrote stuff, what his writing style was like. Envoy's wife turned the internet off. His ex-wife showed up at the house. Yeah, it was the guy who never says anything. Oh, Duel, I owe you another exclusive Patreon video. Let me make sure that I think of something for this week. I guess I could put the last chick I approached on there. That might be a good topic. And all the reasons for why I made sure that was the last one. And every time I think about that final chick I approached, I always remember the beginning of Batman Beyond. You remember the cartoon with Batman's success or whatever, and it starts off with his last night as Batman. That's the same kind of tone. It's like never again. It's like yeah, after this broad, we're finished. We're gonna retire. You want a kid, you adopt. You want to get married, write a fanfic. I want to see if I can actually rip that soundtrack off and then stick it in the video, like as I'm talking. No, I'll wait at 4, but at least 2 people clicked the button. The final chick. I mean, she really wasn't anything because I mentioned before, the ones that have biggest impact on me are when you talk to them for months or some prolonged period, and then they kind of sound like they're falling for you, and then they get with someone else or whatever. Um, this one wasn't someone I spoke to for particularly that long. It was just the fact that like certain things circumstantially were why I was like, yeah, this is not going anywhere ever. And then with the lady lacking logic, at one point I was like, okay, if I'm trying to protest someone to get them to date again, uh, I probably want to get with them, or I'm really stupid, and that bothered them saying they don't want to date anyone anymore bothers me just because. And I was like, there's no way she's so stupid to where she could be bothered by some man that she's, allegedly showing no interest in, saying he's done, and then you sit here and argue with him about it for hours, and like, it didn't make any sense to me. What else could be the motive? Because I even told the Dear John letter writer, the only reason I care about the fact that you said you're done talking to any, getting involved romantically with anybody is because that directly impacts something I want to do, as I had stated my interest in her. But the Laylac and Logic, that clown man was just a fool. What do I plan on having for dinner? Well, like I said before, all my stuff got melted, so I'll probably end up having to swing by some. Oh, dinner already passed. It was an hour ago. This is my dinner to stream. It's gonna end with me like putting my mouth in the camera, like some horror film. I would, but someone is literally arriving right now, so it doesn't look like we'll be able to play it, unfortunately. You'll just have to go back to whatever point that was in the stream and replay it yourself. You and your horrible time zones. Yeah. Let's see what else. Anybody else write anything? All right. So Duel is in support of doing that upload. Great. So I'll get to work on it probably not tonight because I'm trying to do the Giuliani thing, but after that I'll be able to do it. So Duel won't cancel. We're like, I've been sitting here waiting for months for a new upload. That'd be funny if Duel came in here like as if he's some customers like, where's the damn video? I've been waiting for weeks. Let me see. Oh, well, there's actually another one that I got that I was gonna play in a whatever the next romance thing is. I'm gonna play it for the chick because it's too good. Like when I heard it, I made sure to grab it and download it. Some Chinese food, yeah, sure. Whatever I eat tonight will be American. I can assure you of that. Sorry, I'm going on this thing. I'm looking for this little. Someone was talking about a picture. I was trying to see what they meant. Oh, that's what they're talking about. Let's see. All right, that's enough of that. We already had somebody leave. They got mad that I wasn't staring at the camera. Like, how dare you write for a moment? That's the worst part of the streams. Where I'm just thinking, oh, if I do something for a minute, this person will get like bored or offended and disappear. And it sucks because I never feel that way with videos, but that's because usually I can just turn the camera on, read whatever the stupid story is, give my position, and jump off of here. Let's see. Uh, like right there, it was 6, then it went to 4, then oh damn, these numbers are horrible. Why even schedule anything? I remember I was like, I'm gonna make streams that be at a certain time each week, so that yeah, the other one again, I don't play because it's too loud, and again, other people are here, but you'll hear it in some stockpiling voice clips. Like when I do the whatever next voiceover where I'm actually giving some kind of commentary over it, I'm gonna stick their part in there, and I'm gonna speak after that, and it'll be funny, at least to me anyway. Damn, it went even lower. Oh my god. I just gotta find a way to not think about the view count thing. That's the biggest like because I make a lot of the comments relating to it. So I'll cease and desist. But that being said, it's kind of sad that you actually have people who believe that like when we were talking about the chick thing a couple days ago, I was like, yeah, the point of getting aggravated over it is that you want to do something and you can't do it because a group of people say no over and over again and it never can happen because of all of them saying the same thing and then you get blamed for it not happening even though you're the person who's trying to make it happen and the other person's the one that's unsatisfied. It's just like when I used to get mad at those channels that only read the super chats because it's basically their way of saying unless you pay me I won't speak to you. Like I think that's dumb, and sometimes to be fair you can't read every comment, but if you have 80 or 90 people or whatever, not all of them are typing, and you can still read some of them. And again, there are more people who don't have a bunch of thousands of subs than those who do. So all of us should band together and tell the bigger people to go lick a sack and take the super chat back. My favorite part of the super chats are when you have people who will actually donate and they'll insult the person that they're donating to. Like there was this one guy who gave this one person, I think, $1.50, and he was like, "How come you're so stupid?" or something like that. And then another one gave $2 and said, "Why are you so arrogant?" And then the guy who was making the video said, "Because you touch yourself at night." And I was just thinking to myself, why does everything have to take a sexual turn? I might even do an upload on that. Like I've seen so many people in the middle of like just discussing anything, right? Like a movie, some controversy. They start talking about go screw your body pillow, and this is why you're not all kind of. This is weird, and it makes sense like with the romance stuff. Like, haha, you can't get a woman because at least it's on the topic of someone's dating life or whatever. But when you're talking about some cartoon and then the guy you're talking to says, "At least I'm married," like, okay, well, whatever. Oh my God. Stockpiling voice clips. Yeah, these So I said people online are just a really strange assortment of characters. Oh, I also I did record the Android 17 video I was talking about last week, so I just have to draw a picture and stick it over that, and I can put it up. While I was in your one to talk, I just saw that article about that sex tape of you screwing 5 chicks at once, calling it a sextet miracle. You know, so you're not someone who can really speak on this issue. You've got a conflict of interest. Hogging all those chicks to yourself, you dog. Oh, I'm getting clarification or something. I can't believe nobody laughed at my joke about Biogen. Or did I get it right? Yeah, but yeah. So that's more humor that was on cast on deaf ears or deaf ears rather. I really do need to write these videos down. We got the 17 video. We have the top 10 wasted uh, characters in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and then we have the Giuliani documentary. We've got the Patreon exclusive "Last Chick I Ever Approached" video. I think it's really crazy how I just got to a point where every time I log on to one of these websites, whether it be Reddit or Twitter, which I don't use anymore, save for occasionally browsing on there. So really, I don't tweet at all anymore. So I haven't tweeted since June. I think it's really crazy that I went through so many of those chicks that I just like every time I go on one of these websites, I just look at the screen and say, I've played this game dozens of times before, and I don't believe it. Like just to get to a point where it doesn't even matter. Like you don't believe it. What you do makes any difference at all. It's just, and I really, as I said before, I believe in the strength of numbers. So the cutoff point always has to be somewhere after 80, 90, somewhere really reaching. And it's just like, wow, they really got me to, or rather, they really, with all the stuff they did, just propelled me to say that, yeah, this isn't worth it. Honestly, can't say much about it because nobody gives their piece of. Oh my god, this is really insane. I'm looking at the video right now. These people they have your you and your chicks censored, but we know this is you. They've confirmed it is because when you make them when they reach ecstasy, you tell them to say your username. Unless that's Envoy framing you, it would make sense if it's Envoy because he actually, as I mentioned before, his ex-wife and him have had a very contentious relationship for the last 2 years. Let me see what else is here. But I was just saying, oh, don't make me put. Where's that clip? Uh, I hate that about YouTube now when they do the ads because I'll want to click on something and then it'll send me to like before I can actually get the video, it's the ad. Where is it? Did someone get it deleted? Man, these clowns. I was gonna play the Revenge of the Sith Vader. No, that was, but I don't see that video. There used to be a video where it was the no by itself. Can't believe nobody is saying anything. This is crazy. Where did Envoy go? Bang, Hulkers. Is love a real thing? Well, I think it was a real thing. I think it still exists in a couple of places, but as far as like a something that if you just try hard enough, that person will magically appear. She'll be your ray of sunshine, and you'll fly happily into the distance together. I don't believe that. I think it's in a lot of instances just determined by luck, and if you don't have the luck of the draw, you have the luck of the misfortune of meeting and getting turned down by a lot of clowns. So hopefully that answers that question. I think it existed in the past and that it still does exist, but not nearly as much as it should. If I'm to believe these romance gurus. I remember I think I did call that one person that the romance aficionado. Everybody on here knows what the moves. Oh man, hold on a second. What's the thing? So I hope I answered your question, Bowsen. Like I said, I am a person who's not by design negative. I just need positive reinforcement for me to believe positive things. And I gave this example before. If I go out and I hit a baseball and I don't know, out of 50 times I hit it, 50 times rather than I'm trying to hit it, I hit it 45 times. I'm going to believe that I can hit the ball whenever it comes, with almost without any type of difficulty or issue. But if it's something where let's say, play a video game and I lose a level 30 or 40 times, I'm going to believe the next 10 times I'm probably going to lose too. But again, this stuff isn't because someone thinks, the worst just because. It's the fact that they're looking at something from the standpoint of, has this worked in the past? Is this worthy of even bothering with given what we know? And a lot of times it just isn't because of what you know. So, and it's really aggravating when you have actually lived through, some scenario, and then these people who've never met you come on here like, just believe me that it'll happen one day. It's like, when is one day? We've been dealing with this for years. That's why I call them romance gurus or romance Jedi. They know they know by the virtue of the Force that things will flip around. All right, look, I'm gonna conclude this because I have to go to a place, which is why I started earlier than usual. So thanks for showing up. The turnout wasn't particularly great, but again, I appreciate those who attend. I'll stream tomorrow at some point and on Monday at some point, and I'll upload stuff for the rest of the week. So thank you.